Captain Minho stared at the big window of his ship. Outside he could see stars everywhere, but he was not looking at the stars. He was looking at the enemy ship that was coming toward them. The enemy ship was huge and covered with weapons. Minho's ship was small. It was a science ship, not a fighting ship. His hands were shaking a little. He had been a captain for 12 years, but he still got nervous when danger came. This was real danger. The worst kind. "Captain, our shields are very weak now," said Yuna. She was his tactical officer. Her job was to watch for dangers and tell him about them. "We cannot take another hit. If they shoot us again, we will die." Minho looked at his crew. There were 37 people on this ship. Scientists, engineers, cooks, doctors. All of them were looking at him now, waiting for him to save them. But he did not know how to save them. The attack had surprised them. They were just doing their job, mapping the rocks and resources in this area of space. Then suddenly the enemy appeared. The Velkrin. They were an alien race that looked like big insects. They had 4 eyes and mouths full of sharp teeth. They were not nice aliens. "They are sending us a message," said Jiwon. She worked with communications. She made the alien face appear on a screen in front of Minho. The Velkrin commander looked at Minho with its 4 yellow eyes. Its mouth moved in a way that looked like a smile, but it was not a friendly smile. It was the smile of a hunter looking at its food. "Human ship, you are in Velkrin space now. You must give us your ship and your people. If you do not give up, we will destroy you. You have 30 seconds, Minho felt anger rising in his chest. "This space was neutral 3 months ago. We have papers that say we can be here. We did everything right. Your papers are old. We do not care about old papers. You have 30 seconds. The alien face disappeared from the screen. Minho turned to his pilot, a young man named Daiho. "Can we run away from them?" Daiho shook his head. His face was pale with fear. "No, Captain. They damaged our engines. They are faster than us. They will catch us easily." Minho felt his heart sink. If they surrendered, the Velkrin would make them slaves. Or worse. The Velkrin were famous for being cruel. They did not care about other living things. They only cared about power and control. He could not let that happen to his crew. But what could he do? His ship had no big weapons. They could not fight. They could not run. There was no way out. "Captain," Yuna shouted suddenly. "Another ship just appeared." It came out of nowhere. "It is very big." On the screen, a new ship appeared between them and the Velkrin warship. Minho knew this type of ship immediately. It belonged to the Thalorians. The Thalorians were aliens that looked like giant beetles. Their ships were black and shiny like polished stone. Usually Thalorian ships were small. They were traders and merchants, not fighters. But this ship was different. This ship was massive. It was bigger than the Velkrin warship. It was bigger than any Thalorian ship Minho had ever seen. And it had weapons. Lots and lots of weapons. A calm voice came through the speakers. "Velkrin ship, leave now. These humans are my friends. I will protect them." The Velkrin commander appeared on screen again. It did not look happy. "This is Velkrin space, Bug. If you help these humans, we will fight you. That will start a war. My name is Captain Tarvis. My computers say this space is neutral. It belongs to nobody. I owe these humans a debt. I must pay my debt. If you want to fight me, go ahead and try." Suddenly, all the weapons on the big Thalorian ship turned on. Minho watched his computer screen light up with warnings. The Thalorian ship had more power than 10 normal warships. Maybe more than 20. The Velkrin ship waited. Minho could imagine the alien commander thinking, calculating. Could they win this fight? Was it worth the risk? After a long minute, the Velkrin ship turned around and flew away. It disappeared into the darkness of space. "They are gone," said Yuna. She sounded like she could not believe it. Nobody spoke. They were all too surprised. Then the Thalorian captain called them again. Minho accepted the call. The alien face on the screen was strange but somehow friendly. Its big eyes seemed to shine with kindness. Its shell was covered with old scars. This was an alien who had lived a long life and seen many things. "Captain Minho, yes? My name is Tarvis. I am happy to finally pay back the debt I owe to your people." Minho was confused. "I am sorry, Captain Tarvis." "I do not understand. We have never met before. How can you owe us a debt?" The alien moved its head in a way that seemed respectful. "It was 73 years ago. My mother was dying. She had a terrible sickness called void fever. We were on a small station far from help. She was going to die. Then a human doctor came. Her name was Dr. Heejin. Your people had only met aliens 6 months before that. Dr. Heejin did not have to help my mother. My mother was just an alien. They did not know each other. But Dr. Heejin worked for 3 days without sleeping. She made a cure for my mother. She saved her life. Minho felt something warm in his chest. He had never heard this story before. My mother lived for 40 more years because of that human doctor. Before she died, she told me to remember. She told me to never forget what Dr. Heejin did. Thalorians remember kindness, Captain Minho. We do not forget when someone helps us. The alien paused. I have also learned that humans are the same. You remember kindness, but you also remember when someone hurts you. You remember everything. Minho felt tears in his eyes. Captain Tarvis, thank you. You saved my whole crew. All 37 of us. We owe you our lives. You owe me nothing. I only did what was right. Now we should leave before the Velcrin come back with more ships. I will fly with you to the nearest human station. You will be safe. As their small ship flew next to the giant Thalorian vessel, Minho thought about Dr. Heejin. He had never met her. She had saved an alien life 73 years ago. One simple act of kindness. One choice to help someone who needed it. And now, because of that one act, 37 people were alive today. Later, Minho learned more about Captain Tarvis. The big ship was not just any ship. It was a warship. A powerful one. The Thalorians had built 3 of these huge ships just to protect humans. They started building them 70 years ago, right after Dr. Heejin saved that alien mother. The galaxy was learning something about humans. When you were kind to humans, they remembered. They were grateful. They became your friends forever. But something else was about to happen. The galaxy was about to learn another truth about humans. When you hurt humans, they remembered that too, and their revenge would echo through the stars. Admiral Seojin stood in the war room at Terran Command. She was an old woman now, with gray hair and a face full of wrinkles, but her eyes were still sharp and clear. Around her, important military leaders and diplomats waited quietly. They knew she was angry, very angry. Show me the map, she said. Her voice was calm, but everyone could hear the steel in it. A big hologram appeared in the air. It showed a map of space. Red areas were spreading across the map like blood spreading on cloth. All of the red areas were claimed by the Velcrin. 6 months ago, those areas had been neutral. They belonged to nobody. Now the Velcrin said they owned everything. A man named Sung-hoon spoke. He was in charge of gathering information. 17 human ships attacked in the last month. 4 ships were destroyed completely. Everyone on those ships died. The other ships barely escaped with their lives. The Velcrin are taking more space every day. Seojin nodded slowly. She had read all the reports. She knew the numbers. But numbers were just numbers until you thought about the real people, the scientists who would never finish their research, the families who would never go home, the children who would never grow up. What about the Galactic Council? She asked. The Galactic Council was supposed to keep peace in space. All the alien races sent representatives there. They were supposed to solve problems with talking, not fighting. Ambassador Hana looked sad. The Council cannot decide what to do. Half of them believe us. Half of them believe the Velcrin. The Velcrin have many friends. They say we are lying. They say our ships attacked them first. Seojin felt cold fury in her heart. We have proof. We have the black box from the Morning Star. The recording shows everything. The Velcrin attacked without warning. They murdered 63 people. Scientists and their families. The Velcrin say the recording is fake. Some council members believe them, or they pretend to believe them. Either way, they will not help us. Seojin stared at the red areas on the map. Humans had been part of galactic civilization for less than 100 years. They were new, young. Most aliens still saw them as children. Weak children who did not matter. The door opened. General Kyungmin walked in. He was an old friend of Seojin. They had served together for 30 years. He looked at her face and knew what she was thinking. He gestured for her to follow him to a private room. When they were alone, he spoke quietly. You are thinking about the ledger. Seojin did not deny it. Yes. Seojin, if you do what I think you want to do, there will be consequences. Bad consequences. The Velcrin think we are soft, Seojin said. They think we are weak because we are young and small. Every attack is a test. They want to see how much we will accept, how much pain we will take before we break. If we attack them back with full force, we become the bad guys. The council will punish us. All the other aliens will turn against us. We will be alone. Seojin laughed, but it was not a happy laugh. Alone? We are already alone, Kyungmin. The only aliens who have helped us are the Thalorians, and they help us because we helped them first. Everyone else watches while the Velkrins slowly destroy us. She pulled out a tablet and showed him a file. Do you know what this is? Kyungmin looked at the screen. It looks like an account book. It is called the Ledger of Stars. A woman named Borum started it 40 years ago. She wrote down every interaction between humans and aliens. Every trade, every treaty, every act of friendship or violence, everything. Seojin scrolled through the entries. The Thalorians have 73 good deeds in their column. It starts with Dr. Hyjin saving Captain Tarvis' mother. The Astrali have 12 good deeds. The Kree have 8. She scrolled to a different section. The Velkrin have 217 bad deeds. Acts of piracy, harassment, sabotage, murder. All of it documented with proof. Proof that the Council chooses to ignore. What are you planning, Seojin? The old Admiral eyes were hard as diamonds. The galaxy works on debts and favors, General. They taught us that lesson. The Thalorians repaid their debt by building warships to protect us. Now it is time for the Velkrin to pay their debt. You want revenge, I want justice. I want them to understand that every attack has a price. Every life they took will be answered. Not with council votes, not with diplomatic words. With action. Kyungmin was quiet for a long time. If we do this, everything changes. We cannot pretend to be peaceful anymore. Everyone will see us differently. Good, Seojin said coldly. Being peaceful has cost us 347 lives. The Velkrin need to learn what humans really are. We remember kindness, General. Dr. Hyjin showed that, but we also remember every wrong. Every single one. She opened another file. I am authorizing Operation Ledger. Prepare the Ghost Fleet. Kyungmin's eyes went wide. The Ghost Fleet? Seojin, those ships are experimental. We have never tested them in real combat. We do not know if they will work. Then it is time to find out. Get me Commander Jihai. She has been waiting for this. After Kyungmin left, Seojin went back to the hologram. She looked at the Velkrin home system. She studied its defenses, its military bases, its patrol routes. She had been a soldier for 40 years. She knew how to read these things. The Velkrin thought humans were weak. They thought human compassion was a weakness to exploit. They thought human patience meant humans were cowards. They were about to learn how wrong they were. Humanity had a long memory. Humans remembered every kindness and repaid it with loyalty. The Thalorians knew that. They had seen it. They had benefited from it. But humans also remembered every act of cruelty. Every attack. Every murder. And they would repay those debts too. With interest, Seojin thought about all the names in the ledger. Every scientist who died. Every family destroyed. Every dream ended by Velkrin weapons. The Velkrin would pay for all of it. Every single life. Every single tear. The debt would be collected in full. She opened a communication channel. This is Admiral Seojin to all Ghost Fleet commanders. Operation Ledger is now active. You have your targets. You have your orders. Make them understand. Across human space in secret bases hidden in asteroid fields and dead moons, 8 ships powered up. They were unlike any other ships in the galaxy. They could not be seen. They could not be heard. They were ghosts, and they were about to haunt the Velkrin forever. The galaxy had taught humanity many lessons: how to travel between stars, how to trade with aliens, how to be part of galactic civilization. Now humanity was going to teach the galaxy a lesson in return. The lesson was simple. Do not mistake patience for weakness. Do not mistake kindness for helplessness. And never ever forget that humans keep records of everything. The ledger of stars was about to be balanced, and the Velkrin would be the first to pay their debt in full. Commander Jihai floated inside her ship. There was no gravity here, so she drifted like a feather in the air. Her ship was called the Revenant. Around her, 7 other ships waited in perfect formation. They were all part of the Ghost Fleet. The Ghost Fleet was humanity's biggest secret. Nobody knew these ships existed. They were built using special technology that made them invisible. No radar could see them. No sensor could detect them. They were like shadows in the darkness of space. Ghost 7 to Ghost 1, said Wanho. He was Jihai pilot. His voice came directly into her brain through their neural link. Enemy patrol pattern confirmed. We have 90 seconds. Understood, 7. All units, final check. Jihai sent the message to all 8 ships. 7 responses came back immediately. All ships were ready. All pilots were prepared. This was the moment they had trained for. Jihai looked at their target through her computer screen. It was a Velcrin military base called Nexus 7. Intelligence reports said this base planned all the attacks on human ships. 417 Velcrin officers worked there. All of them were soldiers. There were no civilians, no families, no innocent people. That was important. The ledger was very clear about that. Humanity would only target military bases, only soldiers who chose to fight. Never innocent lives, but military targets? Those were acceptable. 30 seconds. All ships, arm your weapons. Jihai felt her ship vibrate slightly as the weapons came online. Each ghost ship had enough firepower to destroy a city. 8 ships together could destroy a planet. Today, they would only destroy 1 military base in 10 seconds. Targeting locked. We are ready to fire. Jihai closed her eyes for a moment. She thought about her friend Minseo, who died on the Morning Star with her husband and 2 children. She thought about the Pioneer, destroyed while carrying medicine to sick people. She thought about all the names in the ledger. The ledger remembered them all. Fire. 8 ships fired at the same moment. Their weapons shot metal projectiles that moved at 90% of light speed. Nothing could move that fast except light itself. The projectiles crossed the distance in less than 1 second. The Velcrin-based defense systems never even saw them coming. The projectiles went through their shields like a knife through paper. They went through the hull. They went through the reactor core. The base did not explode. It simply stopped existing. One moment it was there, a large military complex full of weapons and soldiers. The next moment it was just a cloud of hot gas spreading into space. Target destroyed. Wanho confirmed. All ships scatter. Execute Phase 2. The 8 ghost ships split apart. Each one flew in a different direction and disappeared. Velcrin sensors would detect the explosion, but they would never know what caused it. No energy signatures, no debris, no evidence, just a military base suddenly gone. That was the whole point. Admiral Seojin had told them clearly, make the Velcrin afraid of the dark. Jihei guided her ship toward the next target. It was a Velcrin weapons factory in the Kess system. Intelligence said this factory made the plasma torpedoes used to attack human ships. It would take 6 hours to reach it, flying dark and silent through space. 6 hours to think. 6 hours to wonder if what they were doing was right. Commander, Wanho said quietly, do you think this is right?
What we are doing?
Jihai did not answer immediately. She looked at the stars streaming past her window. Finally, she spoke. My grandmother once told me a story about old Earth, about a nation that believed in peace. They tried to solve every problem by talking. They thought violence was never the answer. What happened to them? Another nation saw their patience as weakness. That nation took and took until there was almost nothing left. The peaceful nation almost died completely. It took them many years to understand the truth. What truth? That some people only understand strength. That kindness without the ability to fight back is not virtue. It is just being a victim. She pulled up the ledger on her screen. Every person in this list believed in peace. They believed in the Galactic Council. They believed in diplomacy. They thought civilization meant something. The Velcrin killed them anyway. So we become killers too? We become survivors, Jihai corrected him. There is a difference between attacking and defending, Wanho. We did not start this, but we will finish it. Wanho was silent for a while. Then he said quietly, my sister was on the Pioneer. Jihai felt pain in her heart. I did not know. I'm sorry. Do not be sorry. Just make sure her name stays in the ledger. Make sure she is remembered. Always, Jihai promised. That is what this is about. Humanity remembers. Every kindness like what Dr. Heejin did for the Thalorians, but also every wrong, every life taken, every attack. She looked out at the vast darkness between stars. The galaxy needs to understand that humans have long memories. Our gratitude echoes through the stars, but so does our vengeance. 6 hours passed. The Kess weapons factory joined Nexus 7 in non-existence. The Ghost Fleet moved to their next target. Over the next 3 days, 17 Velcrin military installations disappeared. Bases, weapons factories, command centers, all gone. The Velcrin searched desperately for the attackers. They found nothing. Their sensors showed only empty space. Their cameras recorded only darkness. Their defense systems never gave any warning. It was as if they were being attacked by ghosts. Jihai and her crew did not celebrate. They did not feel joy. What they felt was duty. They were doing what had to be done. They were balancing the scales. Every time they destroyed a target, Jihai read names from the ledger. She read about the scientists on the Morning Star, the families on the Horizon Edge, the merchants on the Silver Dawn. She read their names aloud, so they would be remembered. Because that was what humans did. They remembered. The Thalorians had learned this 73 years ago. When humans helped you, they did not forget. They became your eternal friends. They would move stars for you if they could. But the Velkrin were learning a different lesson. When humans marked you as an enemy, when you took innocent lives and showed no remorse, they did not forget that either, and their revenge was patient, precise, and absolutely unstoppable. The ledger had 217 debts to collect from the Velkrin. 17 were paid now. 200 more to go, and the Ghost Fleet had all the time in the world. Supreme Commander Valroth stared at the tactical display. His four eyes blinked rapidly, a sign of stress among his species. In the past 72 hours, 17 military bases had vanished. Just gone, no warnings, no demands, no traces. One moment they were there. The next moment they were nothing but clouds of gas floating in space. "Have we found the attackers yet?" he demanded. His mandibles clicked together nervously. Chief Analyst Kelmar looked terrified. All four of his eyes were blinking in sequence over and over. "No, Supreme Commander. We have reviewed all sensor data. We have examined the debris. There is nothing. No energy signatures. No ship trails. No evidence at all. It is like we are being attacked by ghosts," Kelmar added quietly. Valroth slammed his claw on the console. "Ghosts do not destroy military bases. Someone is doing this. Who and why?" Before Kelmar could answer, a communications officer spoke up. "Supreme Commander, we are receiving a transmission. It comes from the humans." The entire bridge went silent. Valroth felt something cold crawl up his spine. The humans? Why would they contact him now? "Put it on screen." The display changed. Instead of showing a person, it showed a document. Rows and rows of names, dates, and locations. At the top, written in many different languages, was one word. Ledger, a calm female voice spoke. It was Admiral Seojin. "Supreme Commander Valroth, this is Admiral Seojin of Terran Command. What you see is the Ledger of Stars. It is a complete record of every interaction between humanity and other species for the past 100 years. The display zoomed in on a section marked in red. Many entries. So many entries. These are your entries. 217 acts of aggression against human vessels. 347 human lives taken. 16 ships destroyed. All documented with proof." Valroth mandibles clicked. These were legitimate military actions. The space was disputed, no. The human voice cut through his words like a blade. They were murders. Unprovoked attacks on civilian ships, scientists, merchants, families with children. You killed them because you thought humanity was too weak to fight back. The display changed to show another section. The Thalorians have 73 entries in the favor column. Do you know why? Seojin did not wait for him to answer. 73 years ago, one human doctor saved one Thalorian life. One act of kindness. No payment expected. No reward asked for. Just compassion. In return, the Thalorians have stood beside us ever since. They built warships to protect us. They offered friendship and alliance. They honored their debt. Humans remember every favor, Supreme Commander. We remember kindness. We repay our debts with loyalty. The display zoomed back to the red section, back to the long list of Velkrin crimes. We also remember every wrong. In the past 72 hours, we have begun balancing your account. 17 military bases, not one civilian casualty, not one innocent life, only those who participated in murdering our people. Valroth felt ice in his blood. You are the ghosts? We prefer to think of ourselves as accountants, Seojin said coldly. Your debt stands at 147 more bases. We will continue collecting until the ledger is balanced. Unless, she paused. Valroth leaned forward. He felt desperate now. Unless what? Unless you make the first payment yourself. Surrender yourself and every officer who ordered attacks on human vessels. Face trial before an independent tribunal. Accept punishment for your crimes. You are insane. The Galactic Council will never accept this. They will The Council has been informed. They have seen our evidence. They know what you did. Whether they act or not is irrelevant. We will collect what we are owed." The display flickered. "You have 72 hours to respond, Supreme Commander. For every hour you delay, one more base ceases to exist. For every additional human life you take, we will erase one of your colonies. You would not dare attack civilians. We said colonies, not civilians. Your military colonies, your forward bases, your supply depots. We have identified 43 military colonies. Would you like to see how quickly we can make them disappear?" Valroth could not speak. His mandibles trembled. Seojin's voice was like frozen steel. "You made a mistake, Supreme Commander. You thought human compassion was weakness. You thought our patience was cowardice. You forgot to ask what kind of species builds civilization from nothing. What kind of species reaches for the stars despite every obstacle? We are not your victims. We are your reckoning. The ledger will be balanced. The only question is how much you will lose before you accept that truth." The transmission ended. The screen went dark. Valroth stared at the empty display. Around him, his command staff sat frozen in shock. Nobody spoke. Nobody moved. Finally, Valroth found his voice. "Get me the Galactic Council now." But even as he gave the order, he knew the truth. The humans had outmaneuvered them completely. The Velcrin had spent months attacking what they thought was a weak species. They treated human diplomatic messages as surrender. They saw human patience as fear. They had been so very wrong. The humans were not weak. They were simply patient. They did not rush to violence. They prepared for it. They planned for it. And when they finally acted, they did so with devastating precision. 17 bases destroyed. 0 survivors. No traces, no warnings, no mercy. Just the steady, unstoppable collection of a debt. Kelmar approached cautiously. "Supreme Commander, what are your orders?" Valroth looked at the tactical display. At the 17 red marks where his bases used to be. He thought about the human promise. 130 more to go. He thought about surrendering himself. About the trial. About the disgrace and humiliation that would follow. Then he thought about the alternative. About watching his civilization be dismantled piece by invisible hunters. About the human promise to destroy colonies if even one more human died. They would do it. He knew they would. He could hear it in the Admiral voice. This was a species that had clawed its way from primitive caves to the stars. A species that had almost destroyed itself multiple times and survived anyway. A species that kept perfect records of everything. Valroth straightened his body. He made his decision. "Prepare a shuttle." "I am turning myself in." Kelmar stared at him in shock. "Supreme Commander, you cannot." "I can and I will. Send a message to all officers who ordered attacks on human vessels. Tell them to surrender themselves within 48 hours. Anyone who refuses will be stripped of rank and hunted down." He looked around at his staff. "The humans have shown us who they really are. We thought they were prey. We were wrong. They are predators who choose to be peaceful. But when you force them to show their teeth..." He did not finish the sentence. He did not need to. Everyone understood. The Velcrin had learned a terrible lesson. In the vast darkness of space, there were things more frightening than weapons or warships. There was a species with perfect memory and absolute determination. A species that rewarded friendship with eternal loyalty and punished aggression with inevitable justice. The humans had shown the galaxy 2 faces. One face was kind and compassionate, like Dr. Heejin saving a dying alien. The other face was cold and precise, like ghosts destroying military bases with mathematical efficiency. The Velcrin had forced humanity to show that second face, and now they would pay the price for that mistake. 6 months had passed since the Ghost Fleet first struck. Captain Minho stood in the observation deck of his ship, the Resolute, watching a ceremony far below. The Galactic Council Hall was packed with representatives from every major species in the galaxy. In the center of the hall, Admiral Seojin stood beside Captain Tarvis, the Thalorian who had saved Minho and his crew. Together they were unveiling a monument. It was a tall pillar made of crystal that stretched toward the domed ceiling. Names were carved into its surface. Thousands of names. The ledger of stars made permanent and physical for all to see. "It is beautiful," said Lieutenant Yuna softly. She stood beside Minho, also watching the ceremony. Minho nodded. One side of the pillar glowed with warm golden light. It held the names of those who had helped humanity. Dr. Hyejin's name was at the very top, honored above all others. The other side was darker, lit with cool blue light. It was a memorial to the humans who had died by violence. What do you think will happen now? Yuna asked. Change, Minho said. Real change. Supreme Commander Valroth is on trial right now. 36 of his officers surrendered. The Velkrin have stopped all aggressive expansion. They are terrified. He pointed down at the assembly. Look at them. Every species in the galaxy watched what happened. They saw humanity patience for 70 years. They saw our kindness to the Thalorians, but they also saw what happens when that kindness is betrayed. Below them, Ambassador Hana was speaking to the council. Her voice echoed through the enormous hall. This monument represents humanity promised to the galaxy. We will remember every act of friendship, every gesture of peace, every moment of compassion. We will honor those debts with loyalty and assistance for as long as we exist. She paused, looking at each representative in turn. But we will also remember every act of aggression, every innocent life taken, every betrayal of galactic law. We will not forget, and we will not forgive without full restitution. Some of you questioned humanity's place in this council. You called us young, inexperienced, naive. Perhaps we were all those things, but we have learned quickly. We learned that this galaxy operates on balance, favor for favor, blood for blood. The Ledger of Stars will remain here as a reminder. We are not conquerors. We are not tyrants. But neither are we victims. We are keepers of balance, and we will ensure that balance is maintained. The hall erupted in discussion. Some aliens looked angry. Others looked thoughtful. Many looked afraid. Minho smiled slightly. They are scared of us now. Is that good? Yuna asked. It is better than being dismissed, better than being seen as weak prey. He turned to face her. For 70 years, we tried to be perfect citizens of the galaxy. We were peaceful, diplomatic, patient, and species like the Velkrin saw that as weakness. They took and took until we had to show them the cost. And now they understand. Help us and we will move stars for you. Just ask the Thalorians, but harm us and our vengeance will echo through the cosmos until every debt is paid in full. His communicator beeped. He looked at it and smiled. It is Captain Tarvis. He wants to have dinner with our whole crew. All 37 of us? All 37. He says his mother name is being added to the ledger today. He wants to celebrate with the humans she saved, even though it was 73 years ago. Yuna laughed. That Thalorian really does remember debts. He learned it from us. Or maybe we learned it from him. Either way, the galaxy is figuring out what kind of species we are. They left the observation deck and walked toward the shuttle bay. Behind them, through the viewport, the Ledger of Stars gleamed in the council hall light. Already, new names were being added to both sides. More species were offering help and friendship after seeing humanity's response to the Velkrin. And a few foolish raiders had tried to take advantage of the situation. They learned their mistake very quickly. The Ghost Fleet was still operational, still watching, still waiting in the darkness. As Minho boarded the shuttle to meet Captain Tarvis, he thought about Dr. Hyejin. That physician who started everything 73 years ago probably never imagined what her simple act of compassion would create. An entire alien species becoming humanity's closest allies, a shift in galactic politics, a monument that would stand for thousands of years. But that was the thing about humans. They did not do kindness for rewards. They did it because it was the right thing to do. And when others returned that kindness, humans remembered. They honored it. They built on it. And when others chose cruelty instead, humans remembered that too. The shuttle lifted off, carrying Minho toward a celebration of friendship that had been 7 decades in the making. Behind him in the council hall, ambassadors and representatives studied the ledger with new respect and new fear. Humanity had arrived in the galaxy young and naive. They believed in peace and cooperation. They still believed in those things. But they had learned harder truths as well. Peace without the ability to wage war was not peace. It was just waiting to be conquered. Kindness without the strength to defend it was not virtue. It was just an invitation to be exploited. Humans had learned to be kind and strong, compassionate and deadly, patient and unstoppable. The Thalorians had seen the kind side and flourished from it. The Velkrin had forced humanity to show the deadly side and nearly destroyed themselves. Now every species in the galaxy understood. Humanity kept a perfect ledger. Every favor was recorded and repaid. Every wrong was documented and balanced. In the council hall, a young diplomat from a small species approached the crystal pillar. She read the names on the golden side, names of aliens who had helped humans and been rewarded with eternal friendship. She read the names on the blue side, humans who had died and been avenged with precision and justice. She made a decision in that moment. Her species would be kind to humans. They would trade fairly. They would offer friendship. Because she understood now what many were still learning. In this vast universe, humans were unique. They had the compassion to save a dying alien for no reason. They also had the fury to hunt down those who harmed innocents. The galaxy had taught humanity many things. How to travel through space, how to trade, how to survive among the stars. Now humanity was teaching the galaxy something in return, a simple lesson, a crucial lesson. Never underestimate a species with perfect memory. Humans remembered every favor, and their gratitude echoed through the stars like music. Humans remembered every wrong, and their vengeance echoed through the stars like thunder. The ledger of stars stood tall in the council hall, gleaming in the light. A promise, a warning, a testament to what humanity was and always would be, keepers of balance, friends to the kind, nightmares to the cruel, and they would never ever forget.